What's up, everybody? Welcome to Versus. I believe we're on episode 22. My name is John Marr, and that is Will Cohen. Will, how you doing today?
I am doing okay, I suppose. I decided to try and follow the theme here. We're talking about mythical shit. So I'm wearing my Hades Town shirt. If you're in the know, this is about mythology. So we're talking about some mythology here. This time we're talking about I don't know whether there's quite frankly I don't like I know the movie is called The Mermaid's Curse, but we might actually be talking about the Greek sirens, which
You know,
I don't think are the same thing.
they are not, but let's look at that trailer.
See better.
Can't do that. You mess with nature and nature will mess with you.
I think there's something in here.
That's like the whole movie. Like we just saved you from watching that whole movie because it was all in that trailer. I mean, not a great trailer either, to be honest.
The trailer doesn't even know the difference between a fucking mermaid and a fucking siren. John, what are we doing to these people?
I don't know how they get away with that. How there isn't just one person involved in the like marketing or packaging of the movie. That's like we can call it this and it would be more accurate. Like, no. They're mermaids. Fuck it. They're mermaids.
Dude, all you had to do is just call this movie The Siren Song or The Song of the Siren. Who I don't know, John. Maybe that's the European title. And I don't know.
I don't
All
know.
these things
The
have three
box art has a
goddamn
mermaid on
titles.
it. That box art has a mermaid on it. What you keep talking. I'm gonna find this box art and throw it up.
Oh man, this movie is just there you go. This movie's
Yeah.
just bad.
Yeah.
This
So
movie's just
let's jump
bad.
into it. So our main character is his name is Jake, I believe.
Jacob, yeah.
He's a journalist.
Excuse me, sir. Hi, sir. I'm from the Barwick newspaper. I really want to pick your brain to find out what you know with the people who have vanished from the area.
Well, you'd better stop before you get too involved.
Now, I like it said in the trailer. Now, I don't know much about how journalists live in the British Isles, but in America, if your beat was like you're just in some weird like coastal town where nothing happens, you're not living at all. Like you'd be homeless, I would think.
Well, to be fair, he is sharing this, allegedly he is sharing this flat with like two other people.
Jake, it's not. It's. Oh,
Man, Jake,
I'm sorry. Fuck. Jake.
Centers into the plot a little bit too.
Right. He's got a girlfriend, Charlotte, and one day he stumbles in there. I'm going to skip the cold open because we're talking about Jacob right now. And then he sees his roommate is sleeping with his girlfriend, and it's the most like unnatural thing. It's like of course it's a jagged edge ITN champ dog. It's just we weren't.
Jake. I'm sorry. Fuck. Jake.
It's just we weren't.
Please wait. Jake, stop.
Roommate Cam looks like John if John like was completely unattractive.
Oh, thank you.
Like John, like at least I can see some appeal with this guy. Like Cam looks like to be the poster child of Hitler Youth. This guy is just the most like this guy would like just like dry a woman up faster than a hot fan.
Move camera. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just
Are you kidding me?
Just
You're
move.
being so
Cam,
goddamn selfish.
right now. I don't want
This
to
isn't
fucking look
just
at you.
about you.
I don't want to fucking touch you. I don't
Are
want
you
to fucking
kidding
smell
me?
you. Just...
He was in the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, if you recall. He was
Shit,
also
that's
he was
right.
also
What?
the friend that hatches the conspiracy to like make the other friend's life a living hell. Yeah. So he
That's right.
always plays unsavory characters in these movies.
And it's not just the fact that we find Charlotte in bed with him. It's like what happens after that just doesn't make any sense. Like they're arguing like this is somehow Jacob's fault. Like,
oh yeah, when he took on the journalism job again in this coastal British town where nothing happens. It consumed him. He became like a workaholic. I don't know what stories he's been writing because nothing seems to happen in this town.
this is like, I don't know if you remember that 90s show Wings, but this really feels like the island that show was set on. Like this
Right.
tiny little island where they say that like if you sneeze, the DJ on the radio tells you bless you. Like this is just a tiny ass little postage stamp of a town, and yet somehow he's earning enough to earn like a third of a rent somewhere, which is weird.
Yeah, and like it's funny. Like what happens again? There's like another woman who's also a journalist, and she's basically like, "You got it all by yourself." So at the start of the movie, there were 2 journalists in this town.
Anyway, spoke to Paul from the office, and he wants his article next week, not this. So you've got some time to find yourself something worth writing about.
Me.
It's your story. He wants me on something else.
But we're skipping over all the actual fact that there are sirens in the ocean, and they, up to the point of the movie, had only like attacked like once a decade, pretty much.
More people have died here, getting drunk, fucking about on the harbor. We fell in. Ain't nothing more than stupidity.
And then the movie starts, and all of a sudden it's like a fiasco. That also makes 0 sense to me.
Yeah, this gets hilariously like off track very, very quickly. I think Louisa Warren saw the 3rd Twilight film and thought, I can make a shittier love triangle, and she did. We decided to make it a love square because then we add in the nameless siren. This is where this movie goes from dull to painful, because it hasn't dawned on him that this woman has like weird scarring all over her face that looks remotely scale-like.
This can't be. No. Not again.
Seemingly obsessed with water. Like, look, I saw Splash like every other kid from the 80s and 90s. Tom Hanks caught on quicker that Daryl Hannah was a mermaid far quicker than this genius of a man is catching on that something is off with Nameless Girl.
Holy shit, are you okay? Right, okay, wait here. I'll go get help. Oh, right, right, come here. It's okay.
Yeah, and then also I want to point out that like the cold open and several other parts of the movie involve people going to this beach. And when I say beach, it does not look like a beach. It's like it's a very rocky beach. And they're going there to, have relations. And that is when the siren is attacking people.
You are basically telling your woman to keep her clothes on. You're not getting laid tonight.
But he does.
He does.
It's some of the most vanilla lovemaking you'll ever see.
And then she eats them.
Yeah, and she eats him, and then there's always a weird chase sequence, and then the sirens wind up behind the person, and they don't discriminate. They'll eat men and women in this movie. Then we have the whole story with Jacob, and he's exploring, and people are still disappearing, and they go to our friend Sean C. Phillips on the YouTube, and he tells them like about the mysterious disappearances that happened 10 years apart. Yet all of a sudden this weekend, like we're killing people on the beach, fishermen, and like there's a dozen people getting killed in this movie.
Bantaby Beach is known for its mysterious disappearances of its locals. Stemming back to the earliest recording back in 1982,
a group of sailors never returned home and mysteriously vanished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, couples, singles, it doesn't matter. Like they're all of a sudden no longer discriminating.
A threesome gets attacked. It's crazy.
That's right. The throuple does get attacked. Ugliest ass throuple that I've ever seen. Like
how many layers of clothes does that one lady have on? Because she keeps like stripping, and there's always like more clothes like under her clothes.
Show me what you got.
You want some?
Yeah, I want it.
Oh, you want what she's got?
You know what? It doesn't matter. She can keep all of them on. I would actually like throw fives at her just to put shit back on, because like, dude, if you're, it's like Louisa, you're clearly not paying these people anyways. It's not like you're paying them enough. You're just not paying them. And somehow you have the ugliest human beings possible being the ones like being willing to like get naked and like get into like bump and grind action. I don't know how that is humanly possible. I'm sure you can give all of them an extra share of blow and all of them would be willing to do this. You could probably make a human centipede if you just gave them enough blow.
That's probably true. Anyway, let's get the main storyline though is that, you know, Jacob catches Charlotte cheating, and then like he's like done with her. He's absolutely done with her, but then he's looking at pictures of her, but then he's done with her. But then he's in love with the siren, but then he's done with her, and then he's the siren's gonna kill him, and then Charlotte attacks the siren, and then he has a moment of clarity. It's too much.
I mean, at first you could definitely tell that the siren is on Jacob's side, because the first thing that she does is kill Jacob.
Kills Cam.
Or not kill Jacob, kill Cam.
Yeah.
And so Cam's no longer in the picture. Now we're into we're back to a love triangle. She does attack Charlotte at one point. Then he like, kind of tells her not to. There's all sorts of back and forth, and finally he like drives her away, gets really depressed, begs her to come back. Am I missing some?
It's such a confusing love story, and then at the very end, they just tack on a scene at the end where like it doesn't matter. He just walks into the ocean.
Bill, no, she comes back,
right?
And then he can, and then she drives him to go into the ocean, which, to this film's credit, this is the only time I have seen a Louisa Warren film where it actually ends on a logical note.
That's fair.
Or as much of a logical note as we're ever going to get from a Louisa Warren film.
Because I don't think there's any other, and there's no other mermaid films by her. So hooray! It's an enclosed loop. We did it.
You know, I mean, this was only like 5 years ago, so I don't trust it still. But usually like the film and its sequel are usually made in the same year with her. So maybe we're good.
All right. Well, I think we've covered anything about this movie that had your notes that you wanted to cover. We can just wait.
No, I like a little behind the scenes. I actually fell asleep through the majority of this film. And so knowing full well that we were going to have to talk about this, I started the movie over again and just fast forwarded to like, okay, there's a different scene. Let's figure out what's going on. Okay, let's fast forward to the next scene because I think I got it. Fast forwarded. So I like did the Cliff Notes version of this film in a 30-minute stretch. Just so I had enough to actually make the drinking game, which is going to be in the comments below, and just so we could have something to riff on. But Jesus,
what did you rate it?
What's that?
Well, what did you rate it then?
I was actually probably kinder to this film than I probably should have been, but again, I was very excited to see that this ended on a logical note, so I actually gave this 2. I actually gave this 2 out of 5.
Fair enough.
A reasonable score, but it definitely doesn't deserve more than this.
I'm still down here at 1, only because like the makeup effects are horrible. Like I'd rather have just been off-screen kills and like don't do any of the makeup on the siren because there's multiple sirens, and they're all in various stages of what the hell is going on. And then whenever somebody's killed, they do the old B movie chestnut where it's not any attempt at makeup to look like a wound. It's just random blood smeared on people.
That's true.
Stop doing that. Just have no. I'd rather there be zero blood than
I don't know. Maybe I'm just desensitized. I've been watching all these goddamn films for too long now, but like that just I can't keep hammering a film down for that. I have to like.
But they make a few where it's okay. So the fact that you see films where they're capable of doing something and then have them go back to this other garbage.
But typically those films actually get higher rated. Like still Dinosaur Hotel 3, Pinnacle.
Yeah, aim for the stars, guys. With that being said, that will wrap up Versus for this week. If you made this part of the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Remember, every week here on the channel, it's the same old schedule. Mondays is Versus, Tuesdays is Horror Headlines, Wednesdays we do a special edition. This Wednesday, I think we're going to do our first of our challenge series, singles matches for Why We Love Horror Trivia. Thursday is Why We Love Horror. We're talking about Speak No Evil this week. And then at the end of the week on Fridays, it's always your longer episode of Why We Love Horror Trivia. And if you can do me one personal favor here, I will throw up the link to my Face of Horror page. So go there, vote for me, vote daily, vote often, tell your friends to vote. Until next time, I'm John Marr, and that's Will Going, and we will see you next week on Versus.